Hello everybody, today I'll be ranking every ancient in Slay the Spire 2. There are 8 in total. But before I go ahead and explain all of them, maybe I should tell you what ancients are. Ancients are these powerful creatures, you could also almost say gods, in Slay the Spire, and every act starts with them. So if you the first time you start the run, you encounter Niao. After you beat the first axe boss, you'll encounter some other ancients, and then if you beat the second act boss, you'll encounter another ancient. There are only 3 of them each game, so you can't encounter all 8 of them. So yeah, I'm gonna start with. I'm just going to yap a little bit too, so I'm sorry if it's going to bore you. But let's start. First of all is Niao, also known as a Mother of Resurrection. This is the most familiar ancients for anyone who played the game, because you start every single run with Niao. And what makes Niao so important is that she represents the game's idea of new beginnings. She's tied to the start of the run, and she sets the tone for how ancient system works overall. You have big choices with big power, but also very big consequences. She gives good and bad options in my eyes, because yeah, the most of them are good, but like one of our options is remove a card from your deck. If you have a curse, it's amazing. If you don't have a curse, like in the start of your runs, it's pretty useless. So therefore I'm putting it in A, because it's a staple of Slay the Spire 2 and it's fun. And the design just as well. It's not the toughest one, but like I'm not going to hate on that. Next up is Desk Teshkatsara. Teshkatsara. It which feeds the fire, which is really tough in my opinion. The title alone, It which feeds the fire, already tells you a lot about the vibe here. It's a dangerous, primal, and extremely powerful ancient. The Skara seems to be connected to aggressive, high-tempo bonuses. The kind of ancient that can make you run exploding power if you're willing to accept some risks, some bigger than others. That's really the pattern with ancients in general. They're not just free rewards, they're strategic decisions that can make arguably the biggest differences in your run. If you meet a Skatara, you're probably looking at a blessing that pushes you toward immediate momentum, stronger combat pressure, or some kind of sacrifice for power setup. In other words, this kind of ancient that can make your run feel completely cracked if and only if you build around it correctly, because otherwise it can also ruin just like your whole run or just your deck, which makes it fun but also not fun. So I'm going to put it in B tier or low. I'm going to put it in B tier. Next up is Pyle, the Melting Dragon. Well, the Melting Dragon feels like one of those ancients that was designed to leave an impression immediately. Pyle appears to be part of that group of ancients that give you a major run-defining blessing rather than a small incremental buff, like Pyle Steers, which means if you have 1 energy left at the end of your turn, next turn you have 2 extra energy. Holy, I can't talk. Or Pyle's Meat, I think it's called. You sacrifice 4 cards, so you lose them, but every combat or every other combat, you'll gain that card back upgraded, which is really good if you think about it. That means that the decision you make isn't just do I want a little extra strength, but it's more like a do I want to reshape the entire direction of my run and my deck around this single reward or not. And what makes these encounters so interesting is that Pyle isn't just another stop on the map. Pyle is the kind of ancient that you force you to rethink your deck and what you're actually trying to go for. So if you had a really heavy deck but you get something that's good for defense, you maybe start putting a lot more defense cards. Therefore, it's going high A tier. Next up is Orobas, Living Rainbow. Orobas the Living Rainbow is one of the more calm ancients, I could say. Orobas stands out because the ancient system doesn't give you raw strength, it also seems to create weird combinations and unique build paths. That means that Orobas may be one of the ancients that opens up more flexible, surprising and or highly synergistic rewards depending on your deck. This kind of ancient that sounds like it could support a more adaptive playstyle, maybe rewarding clever routining, build variety, or unusual deck interactions. Having the option to upgrade your starter relic is one of them, and that's insanely good in my opinion. And because it's so based around what do you want to do with your deck, it's not fun to play if you think like that. You should rather think like I do, and what are all the possibilities I could have? And it's very adaptive, therefore it's going S tier for me because yeah, why not? Alright, next up is Darv, the Darv the Hoarder. It's a name that immediately makes you think of greed and resource control. In my opinion, I haven't met him that much. I think I've met him twice, so I'm not that good of rating him to be honest. But I asked a friend, and here's the what does he thinks about it. Agents like Darth seem designed to give you something substantial in exchange for shaping your path around their blessing. That could mean resource-heavy rewards, long-term value, or effects that get stronger the more you're able to stockpile, protect, or optimize your build. What makes Dwarf interesting is that it sounds like an ancient that rewards planning. If some ancients are about immediate power, Dwarf feels the kind of figure that rewards patience. The ancient you want when you're thinking 3x ahead instead of a fight ahead, which I like and do myself in my videos, or I try to, because I haven't uploaded a long time. Maybe I should upload again, because I played a lot last time. Um, so I'm thinking going like mid A tier. Ooh, Vaku. Vaku is probably one of the most intimidating names on the list. The first demon. It sounds ancient, violent, and deeply tied to a darker side of the game's lore, which I'll cover in another video. That kind of naming usually signals an ancient that means to feel huge in both story and in gameplay. Vaku likely represents a blessing with serious impacts, something that can dramatically change how your run plays, whether that means adding power pressure or some dangerous upside that comes with a cost. The thing is, with these ancients, in my opinion, the costs are way too much for what it gives you. Like, one of them is that he plays your first turn for you, but you get extra energy the next turns. And I don't like that. So if it's only had that option, it would be a D tier. But it has some other options which make it a C tier in my eyes. I don't know. I don't like him. Like, there's one, you buy everything from the merchants. That's good if you don't know what you're doing with your deck, but if you do know what you're doing with your deck, it can be annoying really fast. Actually, I'm going to play some D tier. Tanks is next. Tanks, or the Chimera King, as one of the most boss-like titles amongst the ancients. It also looks like that. It sounds regal, monstrous, and is very much like a force that rules over something unnatural. That matters, because the ancient system is all about giving each figure a distinct identity. Remember that. Tanks doesn't sound like a support character or a subtle bonus giver. Tanks sounds like an agent that hands out a blessing that really makes an impact and could make or break your run. That could make or break your run. So therefore, it's I don't know. I want to say S tier, but the thing is, you don't encounter him that much. Mm, it's going above Niao. Last but not least, Nunu Pepe. I can't pronounce this. Nunu Pepe. Serendipity incarnate. But this guy, oh my god. Again, I had to ask for a friend because I haven't encountered this guy as well. Whew. Serendipity incarnates just an ancient build around unexpected outcomes, random rings, or blessings that can turn a run into surprising ways. That doesn't seem necessarily mean weak. In a roguelike, luck can be one of the most powerful forces in the entire game, therefore making Nonu Pepe one of the most powerful ancients in the entire game. So if Tanks feels like authority and Vaku feels like menace, Nonu Pepe feels like the ancient of weird possibilities and a gateway of alternating universes, as you would say in Rick and Morty language. It's the kind of encounter that can either save your run or send it in a direction you never saw coming. Either way, it's super fun to play, and yeah, it's going in an S tier. So yeah, this is my tier list. I hope you all agree. If you disagree, just let me know in the comments what your opinion is on an ancient. If I overrated or overhated on an ancient, just let me know. And I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.